So a lot of what I was talking about in the last video is actually alignment. Alignment can mean different things. And sometimes people take alignment to mean agreement, right? And that's not exactly what it means. It can mean that, no, is that person aligned or not? It means, are they going in the same line, right? But when we talk about alignment from a managerial perspective, we're talking about alignment of priorities, right? So that as I say again, that all of the different components involved in making sure the intervention goes as smoothly as possible and generates as much impact as possible are aligned to the same priorities in the same moment of time. And this is where I have my problem with activity management, right? Because unless different managers sit down and talk about how their activities and their chronogram are interconnected, each one will go about their things as if the others didn't exist. So when we talk about alignment, there's different levels, right? So if you're working in a field base and there's, say, 3 projects or 3 programs, let's say 3 interventions, let's say Watson, hygiene, building something and whatever, those have to be aligned, right? Because they will be using some shared resources. You can't just manage them as separate entities. Okay, so discussing alignment is what you should be discussing as a manager, both with your boss, both with your functional line if you have one, but especially with the other managers. For example, if I'm intervening in a armed conflict zone and I'm trying to, run an NFI distribution, okay? If I'm not aligned with logistics and if I'm not aligned with administration in terms of timings, in terms of priorities, in terms of tactics, and we're not all working together, then it won't run smoothly because maybe logistics is on a different timeline. And I don't know because I haven't spoken to them, right? And that's also those things when they happen at that level, delay things, cause unnecessary tensions, but above all, reduce impact. Because when we make mistakes, when there's delays, at the end of the day, who's not getting whatever we're trying to do is the target people that we're trying to help. So alignment is especially important when we're working at the intervention programmatic level, right? That I'm working in alignment with the other people. It's all interdependent. The problem then is as you go further and further up the food chain, there's less and less alignment, right? Because it becomes more and more complex from a managerial point of view. You have more micro departments, you have more micro services, and they're all kind of not working together. And then it just generates chaos, no? And people seem to be more concerned a lot of the time that people are in agreement with things than that are actually aligned strategically and tactically, especially operationally, even more especially. So what I'm talking about is making sure that you are aligned operationally, that things are going to happen in unison, in harmony, and not, but I forgot to put the purchase order in. Oh, I didn't do that in time. Because, I didn't know that because I didn't speak to the logistics manager. Oh, I didn't know that because the admin didn't know that because I didn't tell the admin that we were going to need 20 daily workers for that day. For example, right? Those are silly things, but that's the most basic level of alignment. Then, as I said, as you get further up the food chain or into more complexity, alignment dissipates and becomes much more problematic because it's just not done. So when, for example, different departments don't have conversations about alignment, or capital and project don't have conversations about alignment, right? By being transparent. If there's several projects in a country that the capital, the head of mission is, the country director is managing, and there's no conversation about alignment and priorities, then a lot of problems occur. Being transparent about priorities is a key function of the head of mission or the country director, for example, because the logistics department or the administration department in the capital has only a certain amount of capacity, right? So they have to know which projects' priorities are their priorities, because they can't do everything at the same time. And if I have 5 projects, all thinking that their things, everything in their project is the top priority, how are logistics, administration, and the technical departments of capital going to understand what their priorities are? And this should be done transparently and not by a country director in a meeting with the coordinators of the different, or the heads of the different departments in the capital, saying, look, don't tell anybody, but the priority is that project and not that project. And that isn't even a good thing to say, because what in that project is a priority? Because I can have a priority A for logistics in project A and priority A for admin in project B, if you get my meaning. But I have to understand all of that, right? And that's when I talk about the big picture strategy, right? We're not talking, if there's no alignment, what you have is chaos. And that's what we have most of the time. Yeah, is chicken running, everybody thinking that all priorities are flat and all on the same. And then you have the layers above causing more pressure, weighing down, because there's no alignment up there either. So alignment is extremely important. And I will talk about that a lot in the advanced course on management, because when alignment is clear, right, in terms of prioritization, decision-making becomes much easier. And so does prioritization, right? Because if I know what the priorities are, we're all agreed on what the priorities are, when further down the food chain, decisions have to be made, it's much easier for the person to make a decision because they're informed by the alignment on priorities, right? For operations, for operationalization of these priorities, right? But if nobody knows, or the wrong people know and the right people don't know, then again, the only thing you'll get from that is chaos and decision-making that's not informed by the right things. Okay, so as a manager, it's your job to fight tooth and nail for alignment at your most physical and visible level, right? And to push for alignment at the level above you if you see that lack of alignment is causing problems at the intervention level. See you in the next video when we talk about decision making.